we exist. So it's not every community college has a women's and gender studies department, right? This is unique. This is, well, not entirely unique, but it's unusual, right? And why do we have this? It's because of the history of activism in San Francisco, right? It's because of the student strikes at San Francisco State, where students demanded a culturally relevant education. They demanded an education that was meaningful to them, that reflected them and their lives and their concerns. And that spread. That activism had ripples, and the impact was felt here at our community college, and as a result we have what's now called the Ethnic Studies and Social Justice Collaborative, where we get, but then the other piece of it is they become a community, right? So the peer educators who learn to, who are trained to do this work, they work together to support one another.
And just be who they are. And I just try to let them know, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay for you to say say how you feel, be how you feel, do how you feel. Like, you have to be confident within yourself and love yourself for others to respect that. It's just a lot of things that we have been, like, taught that is not so good, it's not so positive, that, like, even for me, like, when I came up, I said, you guys, right? I've been working with Project Survive for like 2 years, 3 years now, and I'm still learning. It's a lot of, it's a lot of unlearning that we have to do that takes a long time, because we have been taught that for so long, and so it takes a lot of time for you to, like, it's just like, I gotta work on that, Just acknowledge that for yourself, inside of yourself. So that's what I try to teach my kids, is to acknowledge that in yourself, and I also try to teach that to my clients. So that has really been my journey with Project Survive. I didn't know what Project Survive was going to lead me to. I just thought it was going to be like me getting back into school, taking this, and then to sexual violence class. I didn't know it was going to be therapeutic. I didn't know it was going to lead to my career path. I didn't know all these things. I was just like, hey, I need to get back in school. My best friend's like hounding me, like, girl, you need to get back in school. You need to get your shit together. And so I didn't know that it was going to lead to all of this, but I'm grateful that I took Women's 55 and I joined Project Survive, and Project Survive, being as awesome as they are, had all these extra activities and all these extra programs for me to join, and I'm just glad that I took advantage of it.
You are not waiting for your prince. You are your prince. When you walk down that catwalk, Cinderella, doesn't matter if you've got stretch marks, doesn't matter if you've got wrinkles, doesn't matter if you've got pimples. You are a body. This is your body. It was given to you. This is the only thing you have. And if you want to present it, present it. And if you want to freeze in silence, you freeze. If you need to run, then you run, and you can run to me, and I will run with you. And I will sweep that floor with you. And I will wash that dish with you. And I will break those walls with you. And I will say, hello, I am here, I'm standing with you, and you don't need to say anything. Thank you.
As a feminist, I never can imagine that any woman cannot call themselves a feminist. What we're asking for is an equal opportunity. And that's the bottom line. We now have, as part of our Models Guild, trans and people who are able to come and feel comfortable in their skin. And I find this amazing. The transformation for me is so beautiful. And my students get to experience that for the first time. People who are trans or lesbian or queer can find models that represent them. I've worked hard all of my life in my classrooms not to have the thin male model. Not that if you're thin, I hate you, but it's not the only thing that exists in the world. And there are still teachers that is all they will hire. And I work at, gotta be a male, female, or a male, non-binary. I need to mix it up every week. I want old, I want young, I want fat, I want skinny, I want muscle, I want flabby, I want beards, I want makeup, I want clothes. I want to represent the world as I see my world in my classrooms. And I hope to also, when I show them images, I always make sure that I try to show different variables there too. It's not just the old white guys that get shown. And that is a top priority for me in my classroom.
My primary job right now is having an art model, so I pose as a trans woman, and one thing that's been kind of amazing for changes in the last couple of years is that so CCSF is, through the art department, has provided like an amazing amount of support for people who are trans and non-binary as models. Actually, when I first started modeling at CCSF, I was homeless, and like the money I earned from modeling there actually helped me like put down a art deposit, get housed, and when I was first modeling, it was actually really hard to get hired as a trans model. Figurative arts is very traditional. The art classes at CCSF were really proactive and bringing in a variety of models, and some of those models, are trans models, including me. And it actually has helped show other schools, that trans models actually you can, they're not any harder to draw than cis models, which was this like insane stereotype that somehow I would break students' minds or something. CCSF has provided a lot of space for both trans models and trans artists. I actually was thinking through earlier today about just counting the number of trans artists who've drawn at CCSF. It's probably more than actually anywhere else in the world, because trans artists tend to be very scattered in programs. And then the number of hours that you can draw a trans person, CCSF is to my knowledge second in the world. Yeah. And also CCSF really, it is really one of the mainstays of the art scene in San Francisco. It develops a lot of artists. It has hosted very generously this group that I put together that puts on events that had exclusively trans and non-binary models. And that really changed the atmosphere around here when people actually could see a bunch of trans models together, a bunch of non-binary models, and they realized that these are great models. And that, it's an injustice that we haven't been hiring these people. And I actually know two models at these events who actually managed to stay housed because they found work. But I wanted to say that, we're all working to try to get these cuts reversed through the Models Guild, which I'm a member of, for talking to places like Pixar to see if they can write some letters to the trustees. So we're trying to work behind the scenes to help support in any way we can. I should add also that the trustees are actually considering a resolution to support, because there are just a lot of problems with trans people at CCSF, and they're actually considering something to strengthen the trans protections at the next trustees meeting. And I intend to go there and say, you're doing all this lip service to trans people, yet you're cutting, seriously the departments that are actually some of the most supportive of trans people. And a lot of trans people also, this is the only education they can afford in the cities. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you all. Everyone here has been really inspiring to me. It's and we'll just keep fighting. Thank you.
I really wanted to put a lot of thought into what I was gonna wear, because now you're gonna be in front of people, you're feeling really nervous. I had a long conversation with someone about what makes you feel empowered. Okay, so what makes me feel empowered and feeling really confident is looking good. And I think that's pretty okay. It's pretty okay to want to look good. I'll have to admit that I used to be in a situation where I was told all the time, you're gonna wear that outside? Why do you have all that makeup on? And then finally I realized this year, I was hey, I'm old enough to the point where I can decide what I want to wear and how I want to look. Okay. So the other thing is, when I thought about this, I was okay, one of the questions that came up earlier that Veronica asked had to do with being comfortable with your sexuality. So talking about our sexuality and all that, I was really thinking about wow, I'm finally single. I haven't been single in 15 years. So coming back to San Francisco, I'm oh my God, how do you start dating again? This is kind of scary. I had a really good talk with my friend Chloe. She used to be Eric, so now she's got 2 different perspectives on a lot of different things. And she told me that I'm really lucky that I have options. Okay, so I'm single, I'm female, and she's and you're Asian, and it's really in right now. So, can you? Okay, so my shoes are new. My dress is 12 years old. So, okay. I was thinking, that feels really empowering to be able to say, I still fit my clothes from 12 years ago. FYI, I'm still hoarding all of my clothes from 12 years ago. So.
And she showed them the true meaning of strength, her lifetime of hard-earned work, independent from any man. I'm a parent who knows which side of history to take, and this side is where you'll be raised to make way for her story. This patriarchy, my son, you will learn to fight it, while I fight to unlearn it. 6. My son, I have much to discover, so I ask you to keep me from being stuck in my old ways. As adults, our aging ears get worn out after hearing so much noise. We forget to distinguish the profoundness of new sounds, new voices that I've heard less but still hear fresh. May our conversations revolve around your questions instead of demons of who I expect you to be. And if I fail to know you, may this vow defy time. I'll give you this letter so that you can use it to check me. And if you instead are born as my daughter, well then this is a letter I address to myself about how much further we need to go for you. Thank you, yo.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to do this all the time.
We lost 9 dance classes and 16 PE classes. 2 of our part-time teachers lost their jobs entirely in PE. The only 4 dance instructors who were part-time who had health benefits lost them. And they were some of the most popular teachers teaching some of the classes that no one else could teach or have the expertise in Feldenkrais and restorative yoga. It's just really nasty. Dancing's good for your soul.
Yes.
And tap dance is particularly good for your soul. Oh, we did this because of this the kids' strike about the climate crisis. Marvin Gaye. Whoa.